There are new doubts about Trump's New York civil fraud conviction. Justices in a New York appeals court appear skeptical of the conviction and that huge $480 million penalty. They say nobody claimed to be harmed. Former Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker joins us now. Matthew, tell me about what the appeals court justices were saying, because it sounds like this case is just falling to pieces.
Yeah, Stuart, and we talked about some of these issues previously when this case was decided on summary judgment, and then the judge ultimately assessed this massive fine, and that is that there was no one that was harmed, that it was just a commercial transaction where both sides finished the transaction happy and satisfied. The bank got their money, the loan was made, and I think the appeals court was very skeptical that this was even in Letitia James as Attorney General's jurisdiction to bring a case like this. And then on top of that, obviously they thought this fine was excessive and way over the top compared to any potential harm that happened.
The case just be completely thrown out or adjusted? I mean, a smaller penalty, whatever.
Yeah, so there was a 5-judge panel, and obviously it's going to be the vote of the majority to decide, because I think there are some judges that felt it was way too much of a fine on the one hand, and then there's some that were just thought the basis in law was not there, and this case should be dismissed. And so I think it's going to be very interesting where 3 of those judges out of the 5 come out on that.
I want to talk about New York City, the mayor, Eric Adams, criminal charges. I'm sure you've read the charges. Would you define this as a strong or weak case against him?
Yeah, it's probably comparatively a weak case. I think some of the solicitation of illegal campaign contributions are probably the stronger counts. You know, the counts about you know, the quid pro quo and the scam that voters can't stand when elected politicians do, where they get benefits for official action, I think is a little weaker. But remember, you know, Eric Adams has said the whole time that these are politically motivated charges, that the Biden Department of Justice brought these because he had criticized the situation he was facing in New York City with the illegal immigration and how it was impacting the city of New York.
It looks like, well, Adams says he's going to fight. He's going nowhere. He's staying in this game. He's staying in the race. He's staying as mayor of New York. That means, with his administration, I would say, largely crippled with the departure of the police chief and the education guy and the top counsel, that means we've got a chaotic government in New York for at least the next year, at a time when we can least afford it.
No, that's a great point. And I think, you know, mayors obviously handle the day-to-day, whether it's picking up trash, enforcing the laws, keeping the streets clean, all of the small things that city government does, mayor sits on top of that. And to have him this distracted with federal charges, I think is going to be very difficult for him to continue to run the city effectively.
May I just go back to the Trump fraud case and the skepticism by the appeals court justices? They're really passing judgment on New York's judicial system, aren't they? And it's a bad judgment at that.
Yeah, so remember at the time this case was going on, it looked like a real specious claim to come in after the fact and to say that somehow fraud had occurred when nobody was complaining of, you know, losing money or being defrauded. And I think all along there was this skepticism that the trial judge, Engoron, and Letitia James, as the Attorney General, had kind of railroaded Donald Trump to try to score cheap political points and to do this before the election. This panel, which was sort of asking very basic questions about the fundamental basis for these charges and for these claims, I think dismantled the case pretty effectively. I think it's going to have a hard time surviving, especially at the almost $500 million penalty level that it currently stands.
That's ridiculous. Matthew Whitaker, thanks very much for being with us this morning, Matt. We appreciate it. And I know we'll see you again soon.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.